Итак, всем привет, мы продолжаем играть в диско Elysium. Так. Туда бежим, да, точно. Уже 4-й день, и я не знаю, какова продолжительность этих дней. Так, с этим буйком я же все делал, да? Да. Так. Вообще, на сколько дней можно тут остаться? До конца недели? Четверг. Сегодня, да? Ну, татуировки надо еще кого-нибудь спросить. Информация Джойс. Ага. Рабочее оружие, которое стреляет пулями калибра такого, да? Ага. Классье про ночь в воскресенье. Я вроде спрашивал, нет? Загадка и коммуна. Ночной клуб, говорите о Сель. На прогулку вдоль побережья, Активум. Понятно. Почтовый ящик на площади. Траектория выстрела. Сообщение. Окей, все, квесты все посмотрели. Их осталось, но гораздо меньше по сравнению с тем, что было. Это да. Так, где он может быть вдоль берега? Вообще ничего не видно, конечно, в этой темноте. Ну-ка, фонарик давайте возьмем. Так-то видно насчет этого. Я не знаю, что не так. А чё? Ой, точно. Деньги. Я что-то не заходил в церковь-то. Пока что. Ну чё, давайте сейчас зайдем тогда. Давай.
Heavy wooden doors. The lock feels.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of it in the heart of the.
Да, знаю.
In white silk. This is cradled in her arms. Or appear. Cold wind seeps in from the crack as that bitter thought. Pop good call. Serves her right. She only cares about her.
The old woman in the... It's a minor...
On the coast of an
They used to... We should be...
respectful. Is it?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous. It's not spiritual. It's constitutional.
Так, оп.
The mother of humanism stands above. Despite the damage, no amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smut. The highest category, more. An innocent, no. We are alone. 300 years, many things. Terribly. She made them. She was on. She was crowned. 2 years. Wow. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the... As did we all. In a city, she was dressed in a white and pearl dress. On an emptied out plaza. With the crowd. Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around. One of the men in this secret service killed her. 20-something that had walked in our midst. Watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnatural. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly terrifying. Although she was the most social, the masks she adored, little is this subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant, what are you thinking of, if I may ask?
А, это из-за того, что я, видимо, это раньше спросил.
Okay. This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here.
Так,
Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? You have the headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Don't be so very...
оп, оп. Оп.
The mother of humanism stands above you. A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you. Unknown. A motor carriage.
Это,
The
это...
escutcheon on her throne says, small figures of wise men.
Я сам забыл. Ирен
Below
какая-то
both
там.
women, in luminous, and then along the left side,
Death. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. It was deemed subserve justice, union, prudence, and force. Eyes cool. Death. This exaltation is justice. Not at all.
the mother of humanism. Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. What do we... The mother of humanism. Why? That does seem... The mother of humanism.
Понятно.
A machine stat...
Another radio computer. We should probably let it be. It's becoming clear that it's also quite...
The one you saw earlier, you see, the lieutenant says behind that, another filament, nothing happens. The speak...
Good.
It's the same old woman.
Good. Thank you. Please.
Sabrina,
Anything else? Good.
let's look around.
No. Still, I am...
I'm afraid we...
Now, can you proceed? Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Sleep.
The machine's keyboard.
Ага, это жесткий эти. Почему он обходит, он гений? А как мы дотянулись до этого галстука, интересно мне, ладно. Сейчас, секунду.
The silence in... Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even... And then it seems you can hardly hear your own. Your voice is... It's unknown. You produce a few muffled... The lieutenant...
Can you hear anything? The church just had...
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing, on its premises. The lieutenant doesn't reply, but the orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible. Then
Этот процесс можно как-нибудь ускорить? Ну, выходи,
it's
давай.
like there's something moving up there. Yes, it's not a...
Officer,
Oh no, prepare for... You see, maybe it's possible. Is that a crab man? The man?
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry. Here you can receive the money.
this man is obviously...
Hey, and what was that about? The bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence. And you don't even. I was like you once, just dragging my feet.
You know, actually, since we're here,
Look at these crazies. What is this shit?
Don't trust me. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here. Other spooker? No.
Wait,
did it ever?
You mean like a no, man?
I see.
I told you, Holmes. Don't really follow her comings and going. I'm afraid.
or search through her radio computer.
Too many times, essay. You need it for something. Don't sweat it, vato. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity. Like, never known myself to be a crab. I always thought,
That's not the only technique he's working on.
sure am. Now I.
All right, let's consider the context and meaning here.
It's all just for the mother, man. I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. No, man. You gotta let that shit go.
Do you remember?
Tiago's my name. Your place amongst your fellas. Your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters. This is I circled it. Nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. No, no, no. She is a cavity in the dark.
His adoration is beyond sexual.
I will be incinerated, but not this. It's not like that at all, man. I heard that before, Way. And I know she took you for. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out. I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. Hard to say. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. I think they were. A long time ago. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. You may be thinking,
The sinewy figure,
police raid.
Did you witness?
Not really. Or at least the ones in the tent outside? Nah, man.
though he used to, a long time ago.
Wouldn't bother me none. Might even be nice to have some company. The ones in the tent outside? Why not? Might even be nice to have some company. The ones in the... Absolutely. Might even be nice to have some company. I think we're done here, essay.
That was. However, I'm still.
Все так, есть.
The machine's keyboard, the speak.
Good evening. Good. Good. Votre accident. Is there anything else? Sleep.
The machine's keyboard. The printer prints out a long text document. The first arrived Lieutenant.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Our case? No, I don't think so.
6th C. What was that about narcotics?
I doubt that we can find any. Nothing spooky about.
7th of February.
Why would anyone need any of?
8th of February. But at least the artists have that. I just have to find out what caused that date.
Seems like something about the. I think these people worked
12th of February.
the strike. Keep reading.
25th.
Is she talking about
28th of
the pillar of silence? She is talking about this.
the Lieutenant. March 51. Fortunately, the song is so much.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her.
March 51. I got.
I knew it wasn't the.
No. It was at March 51. Your reading was interrupted by the sound of the church. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Интересно, где она гуляла в 12 часов ночи, да?
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
Well, you won't find any mute. It's just me and.
We should talk to her. Yes?
А, у меня очки минус драму забрали. А какие на мне до этого были? А, вот эти. Ой, восприятие -2, да. От чего так? От вот этого -1. От вот этого -1. И я обувь еще переодел, и теперь у меня +1 восприятия нет. Ладно. +1 болевой порог. Понятно. Ага, понятно. Встретив Долорес, да и отдать фигурки. Ну, посмотрим,
What is it?
если мы ее встретим.
I am. If you're not.
Did she say over 16 years of experience?
No. Yes. And. No. You're right. I'm not. I brought them here. These are my machines. I use the AR. Mm-hmm. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? Alright. Well, all radio computers perform on the front. It's all around.
Like love.
I guess it is, but it's anyway.
She liked telling you this.
I'm work.
The machine seems...
Could you?
It's not just rudeness.
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Great.
They're bloodshot. She really hasn't been getting much sleep lately, has she?
No, I'm not. It's just me and the crab man. I'm looking for the
Wait, what? She's looking for 8. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Yes, that's what exact. What do you?
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
You measure it by.
Ha!
But honestly, it's somewhere.
Only affect...
There's this.
The Pillar of Silence?
Maybe. I know. No, I don't. Because it's just. And I don't have a. Great. Thanks. What?
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
The swallow, you mean? Great. Thanks. What?
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Yeah. Maybe I'd have to be. This is about the. Take a guess, why don't you?
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Так, а я разве всем с ней поговорил? Да? Ну ладно. Так быстро я все пролистал. В прошлый раз на это гораздо больше времени ушло.
Hi again. So, and? What happened? Oh, man! Who is he? What did you think? Really? Interesting. No matter, yeah.
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance? I guess it's not everyone. Maybe. I guess a programmer? What a shame. Unity! And you can't just evict her? Look at you. No, Noy. If that's okay, the lines at least yeah. He can do his climbing thing in the tower.
Egghead can...
No worries. We'll figure it out. If excellent. Good luck. Goodbye, officer. I see you here again.
Тут Айкамон, конечно, выглядит гораздо хуже, чем у него на картинке. Ну ладно. Вообще не похоже что-то. По-моему, он там не лысый, а там он лысый. Ну ладно. Обман какой-то везде. Все ясно. Так.
Yes, what is it? I don't want to make anything work. Yes,
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter.
that's right. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen,
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. she means it. Just tell her about.
I already told you. A chance to cook some speed, you mean? Ah, alright.
Wait.
Alright. Bring me the game's offside copy. It's a back...
She's making.
The backup itself is... No.
In his defense.
Okay, but still. Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just... Good. In the...
But you've been to the fridge and it.
Wait. Zoisa. Like it would... And the head...
Valley of 1,000 heads.
This is getting...
There's a solution. But she doesn't want.
The bookstall. Because she's from Martinez. And people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil. Yes.
The lieutenant coughs.
Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange... Thanks. And here's my...
It hurts a bit for her to. This glorious multi.
Yes? Thanks.
Не за что. Уф. Имба. 4 очка навыков уже. Может все в скорости реакции, потом еще куда-нибудь закинуть. Давайте в скорости реакции скинем пока что все это. Больше не могу, потому что это максимал. Очка. 5, всего 5. Не надо было эту бомжатскую шапку отдавать. Она, по-моему, +1 скорость реакции давала. Вот это вот не очень, да. Так, этот чел больше тут не появится, да? Что за звуки? Я, кстати, думал, что эти чаши в другом помещении, они, оказывается, тут стоят. Я их просто не заметил вообще. Я думал, они какие-нибудь большие должны быть там, не знаю. 3 огромных чаши стоят рядом с другом. Че, мне надо им доложить, я не знаю. Что я пошел далеко в путь.
Hi again. So, our thing... Yes? What's the deal? All right. Do what you gotta do, man. We trust you. If you need any help, goodbye, officer.
We're closed. True. Hard. Full. Car. Hardcore. Yeah!
Or maybe it's not got volume.
You know about?
You know Van Eyck? Oh, well, it really is him. It's an honest...
The advert?
Понятно. Что тут за корабль? Он тут всегда был? Я его просто не заметил, да? Они на нем типа приплыли. Интересно. Так, может мне тут где-нибудь вдоль побережья походить? Ладно, не думаю, что он в час ночи где-то гуляет по побережью, конечно, да? Но это было бы не очень.
Our tenant, the policeman.
Так, пойдемте закинем это, почту. Еще с кем-нибудь поговорим, может. А, мне надо с Леной поговорить. Ну, ее, может, там нет уже.
The headless Falun rider.
Please tell.
Don't listen to the lieutenant. He doesn't know anything.
Yes, it would.
Ну, он же как-то спросил нас о всаднике без головы. При том, то, что мы о нем не говорили вслух. Но. Интересно, кстати, у меня есть что в ломбард продать? Открытка есть. Пустая катушка. Ну, катушка мне уже не нужна, по идее, да? И вроде бы ок. Ладно, пойдемте скинем это. А, я, кстати, с той не пообщался, которая там стоит. Лодка у нее. Блин, сейчас обратно бежать, да? Где мое сохранение ближайшее? Найс откатился. Ладно. классно тут в час ночи, да, сидеть. Просто прекрасно, да, наверное. Я не знаю. Прям очень. Так.
You're
Прибыл.
back. Good. Matter of fact, I don't. I have a medical condition of my own. Thank you. I do what I can to... Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter. And I do... In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask...
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst case in.
Then we're on the same page. As grim as it may be. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial...
Every worker.
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle.
Who are they?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me they wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted he was taken out behind the whirling in rags. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to... It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent...
What is the nature of the...
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
They won't. My only hope is that yours provides a single concrete... If you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute every...
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant?
The Seraï's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group...
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded, as I said, a bloodbath.
Maybe a good bloodlet. Houses drenched in red, blood gushing down Rue de Saint-Cispar. The whole place mopped with a giant red rag. Fresh bullet holes for all the old buildings.
It appears you found it, yes. And I'm not happy for you.
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Lieutenant Dub. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good. As far as private military, they boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz.
Meaning they're used to operating in war.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors. Supramundi. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better...
Do you know a lot about the...
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what... Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the remaining contractors. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your...
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel... Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. Good. Then you've made progress. It's imperative that you move fast. If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them. One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's?
She closes her eyes.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see.
That's all right, man. Anything else?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. And Classier also met.
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly,
you should show those meatheads exactly how savage you really are.
you're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear
Стиль
involved.
одежды керамический рыцарь. Мощное телосложение лидера антистачников. Одежда плохо подобрана. Понятно.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe,
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are
your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping...
That would afford a good vantage point.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't...
They don't report their progress.
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this... It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If they're... Of course. Excuse my hesitation.
For about half a minute, she wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and...
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of... I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbered close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the...
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident, Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder.
The old world passing by. And
you said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of... his platoon members? The other contractor...
Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that
Они нас
tattoo
начнут
should come
расстреливать
before
за это,
public
наверное. Ну
security.
ладно.
But if you should wade into the mob to find out...
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Of course. I am sorry to... More lessons in basic reality.
Ага, вот еще есть.
My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me...
What is all of this?
What world? The only...
The camera of her mind glides over the surface.
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces.
A frisson lifts the hair on the back of your arm. Wind...
The world is a suzerainty of Revash.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the Dolorian century, when humanity was Elysium. Not in this case, no. That's
The Confederate Republic of Mest, the world's largest state by territory.
Ой, так. Так.
It isn't enough to call us
Ой.
animals. Even animals aren't animals. They're like you and I suppose. Living organisms don't identify with abstractions. Elysium is for particular beings. It does. They're a term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists. Oh, you want a picture of the world? Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. That's looking less and less likely, Detective. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the
ORG, Occident Revachol.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three, they're piecing together a dark grey. Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares.
A cold fear seeps into you.
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See? Everyone finds something worth holding.
The cold seeps into you. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is.
Я только
Your
сейчас
arms
заметил,
hang
что
down
дают
by
по
your
плюс
sides.
5
The
опыта только.
lieutenant observes you both,
Ну ладно.
silent.
The Pale is not tech.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
Ma'am, remember you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable...
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics.
Когда Кима не будет, хорошо.
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Glad to have been of assistance. More lessons in basic glad to have been of assistance.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that. Oh my.
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you.
А какую я информацию получил?
That's good to hear, Detective.
Her bartering mind cannot fathom.
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was it illegal. I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
Так, а он переживает, я не помню. По-моему,
I
нет.
wouldn't have taken Everard for a saber rattler.
No, it was more like he wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course.
Or he wants you and me to believe.
There's always that risk, ma'am. But if he means it,
I'll think it over, Detective.
This gave her pause. Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity? She has
Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared information. Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the...
She must really
По-моему, я
want
уже
you
говорил,
to
что
look
разобрался.
into the drugs. Otherwise, she'd tell you. She was worried for a moment that she's overplayed her hand by not sharing info.
Yes. That's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help.
while we appreciate your assistance, ma'am, I'm afraid...
That is only fair. Well, I hope it yields something. Otherwise, what you've said is quite enough. Did you now? What sort of borscht? The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it? Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that and because I don't like the idea of them any... Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Here? Oh no.
It's clear the village has already grown dear to her. Strict.
No, don't tell me. I don't... Giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. Practically the same thing, but makes him seem like a youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it.
The humidity crawls under your skin. Your eyes track her gaze, past the net picker.
Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no... What? 35, I think.
The prints are hers.
Я не помню, какие следы. Ладно.
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in my... He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone.
Сколько старше тогда уж?
That it matters.
Ладно.
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the...
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly.
First, there won't be a youth centre. Whatever he's told you or the residents, there'll be a fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to. I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich candy girl. Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective.
She is more defensive.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later. Well, good. What we do.
She nods.
Of course. Of course.
Don't tell her you've met Everard.
Of course. Anything to I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad... Oh? Of course, Detective. More lessons in basic
Тут еще
reality.
есть это.
My favorite part of the... Glad to have been...
Ну-ка, подожди.
Tremble. The time is time for the show.
А, это по цвета?
Theodos. Monday morning. The moment, yes, you spoke the words of it's totally also. So you perhaps. Just a thought. This has something to do with the hangover. Okay, yes.
You're back. Good. What can I... More lessons in basic reality?
It remains a mystery what you mean by this.
Еще раз. Совсем забыл про это. Про костюм.
You're back. Good. What can I help you? More lessons in basic reality?
6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs. Junior offers to his left. His partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, yes, he lost his mind. Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. Don't what we always do.
You? You're an officer. Preciso Mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto...
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping this...
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's yet. On the other hand, I know these people. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the...
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate... And if those authorities drink so hard they need help record... Nothing more nor less.
Yes, we are. We are.
Yes. That means... Permit me to conclude with this. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality...
Ким тебе
Well,
доверяют?
I am...
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make...
Fine.
See? What can he do?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague... Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Kat, an oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest. Katla, the cold, achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter.
The negation of being.
That's right. The negation of being. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling.
Вообще не понимаю, о чем мы говорим
Imagine
так.
a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic... The most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels...
It's difficult to describe, or even The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop. Oh, it is so difficult.
A squall of birds. Hardware
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale, but it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow... They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only... It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International
It's more for her. Way more.
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entrepreneuric business class. I'm cleared and trained.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well.
Yes. Carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific...
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says.
Up to my guilt.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every...
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of graph. There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for... In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them, then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale... What do you think, Detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects, an intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and I suggest you do this. It doesn't look like you're doing the same. The suggestion was meant in earnest, Detective. Yes, sweet reality. But is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Как много вариантов ответа. Мощная антикоммунистическая сила.
Your ailing constitution, sweaty foot.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then... I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, you have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even...
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
Good luck, detectives.
Так, окей. Ничего нового там
You're
не
back.
осталось, да, о
More
реальности?
lessons in bait.
Ну,
Glad to
всё.
have been of assistance.
Все, давай. Так, куда мне? Что там? Куда там нам надо? Классье спросить надо. Помогите рейверам. Ставьте 2 подписи. Ага, ага. Короче, надо сгонять. Скинуть письмо. Давайте ночью сходим уже. Уж лучше. А то я все-таки не знаю, сколько дней мне дается всего. Я, кстати, не поменял одежду, ну ладно, потом. Или сейчас. Надо еще эту спросить. А тут нет этого, да, ночью. Ну, понятно. Я думаю, она там есть, наверное. Ну, я так думаю. Ага.
Lowman, you come and what is that?
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the bail. And not fine then. Just try...
It's death, but for the universe, oh, we're contemplating the living shit out of this.
Exactly what I didn't want you to do.
No offense, but your partner seems like a bit of an idiot.
Republica, a filterless cigarette from Mist.
Neither is spelled transportation. Life is transitory. Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Segúreme, Paraíso. You're the opposite of me, then. The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The road, the look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except, I heroic doses, her thought insertion, dithering. The Grand Cadillac, when you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like this. What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just, like looking into the ocean at night. You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough.
Nostalgia. Cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia.
In the belly of an airship, behind the steel windows. So, no, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays.
The wheels all small and round. Multi-ax.
Yes. They say there is a point. One that I have not crossed. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant. Maybe you've been down the motorway south. It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, terrifying and dark, and the process begins. Erasure. No one knows what's at the end. I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child growing on the left. Josiane.
There is nothing more to do. She is receding in the clutches.
You fried both your brains enough for today. Let's get some air. This one's far gone.
The woman. Girl child, you hear her say. Girl child.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
Ладно. Так, ну ночью этих нет. Перед этим кричащих обо всяком, да? Вроде как. Так, надо машину еще это позвонить вроде бы.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir. 10-4. Order. 10-4.
Feels good to get that off your chest.
Roger that. 10-10.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist? It will.
Her voice.
Gottlieb, what is it now?
Anything else? Just a. Sylvie Malaika.
Соединяемся со всеми, с кем могу.
What else? Team?
You hear the.
Anything else I can add? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set
Ладно.
of steering.
А, вот почтовый ящик, да.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, and
Yes, for sending mail.
you drop the white envelope in the darkness. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very.
Let's go back to Everard. This better be worth it after what we did.
Так, что там? Как там? Сложность, ага. Давай это забудем, да? Этого не было. Давай вот это. У меня, кстати, снова появилась строчка навыков. Один я только что потратил, осталось еще 2. Нормально, так, неплохо. Ой, теперь снова к нему бежать. Помогите Соня с проектором. Оп, туда бежим. Опа.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand. Ice groans and howls under the strain of your darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object. Disappointment washes over you as you stare into the almost empty ice cream maker.
A scoop of ice cream would have been nice, yes.
You gently lift the cube from its.
We should take it back to Miss Lukanen killed as soon as possible.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the
Идем, я так и хотел наверх подняться. Уже сюда вроде бы. На. Так, фонарик, пожалуйста.
tiles on the cube
Так,
are still like a smooth draw. The speaker.
Good evening. Please repeat. Is this good? Good. I've unlocked the production schedule.
Really? She just used the same password? Maybe those
Fortress accident. Is there anything else? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are with a quiet determination. The printer starts printing. A piece of paper unfolding. It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott. About where the first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule. In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident, the first tranche of seed financing, brought in 100 of. Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 real. 400,000 real? Let's just say it was a real adventure. For their Igauni, Fortress Accident employed 18 people. The bulk of the team, composed of writers and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the base. But on the other hand, their obligations were piling up Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists? It didn't. No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing. One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good. The production schedule depicts their glorious descent into bankruptcy, not the concept artists. It wasn't even it was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and they tried to make a 4 million real game with 400,000. They thought they could bridge the gap with pure. They couldn't. No, even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing mark. That is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads. At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jimsk-born Sulisław Jalisa, decided this place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head, so many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men, all of which could be. Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here.
Ага, понятно. Мало как-то.
The lieutenant taps his foot, and he's dying for a cigarette. What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop? Well, yeah, that and the catastrophic data loss. On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. What is clear is that one day, an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred. On the East Insulin, when the project was returned, the team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider. But despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss. Always read the term. And let's face it, they didn't have any money left for a leak. Mysteriously enough, it seems that the offsite copy it was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the offsite copy and, well, keep it offsite. S. Lukanen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The offsite copy was on-site because I didn't have a home anymore. So I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal. Her former colleagues would agree with you. The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added 4 months later by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under too. Slipstream switched to making. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error. I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out Sandbrun 1147, that's what the street sign next to the church said.
Понятно, это она, да?
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into the speaker comes to life. Static seeps.
Good evening, Fortress Accident. Please repeat. Is this the offsite copy? Good. No, that's not.
What does she mean? Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw.
Good. Ivan.
Ka-ching.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything? Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are the filament
Ой, я
slides
случайно
out
извлек
like
ее.
a smooth draw. Nothing happens. The speaker.
Good evening. Please repeat. Good. Please repeat. Good.
Ka-ching.
Fortress Accident. Thank you.
Tiles on the cube. It sounds like something cracks before something's broken. Machines aren't supposed to behave like this. The paper is soaked with ink. Its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any. A single speck of white shines out from the shade. Looks like gibberish. This must be the information Sorna is looking for. She knows how to make.
Odd. Something is obviously broken here.
Угу.
Tiles on the cube are
Wait,
still
is it
smoldering. Casting the filament slides out of its glowing nest.
По идее, производственный график можно и продать, да?
The bear's eyes.
Так. Несите. Найдите. А, сообщить Лене надо. Но ее там нет, скорее всего, я думаю. Сейчас-то. Да, абсолютная пустота.
Hey, what's that?
Давайте к классье сходим еще, по-моему, нам надо. Поговорить про ночь в воскресенье. Так, на выход. А ее нет. А ее просто нет. Вообще нет.
Two neon lit shapes.
Что, типа, это значит, что она уже сбежала, я не знаю. Нигде нет. А может, на балконе? И тут нет. А если на скамейку, кстати, прийти ночью, когда Ким от нас уйдет, типа спать? Ну ладно, думаю, не очень. Что это было? А, я навелся на это, может. А вот на это? Ну. Ай, так. Надо к церкви снова сбегать. Что за темнота прям?
Yes, what is it? Yes? Thanks. Looks like it's the one. Now I'm going to print it out to see what's left of it. I have a theory. Lintel was able to divine the location of the anomaly from this broken copy. Watch. What an intricate display of failure.
The paper starts filling out with ink, soaking it in a gleaming blackness. Not a single line of data stands out. Sona doesn't reply. Her hands...
Here. I found it. Hold on. Just give me a second. I'm almost...
I've never witnessed a programmer work before.
Done. I've got it. I found the location of the anomaly. I found the coordinates.
She's beaming. Great job.
Thank you. There. In the swallow. Think you can help me again? I need you to go move those water bolts for me.
What an interesting proposition. truly a task for the intellectuals.
Figure it out? No. I don't just walk over to the circle and follow my instructions. Move the
Ну, то
third
есть,
pole
знаю,
2
как я не по
centimeters to the
расчетам
left and the
третью,
fourth pole 5 centimeters to the right.
четвертую.
This should do the trick.
What? She only wants you to follow instructions, nothing intellectually stimulating.
Come on. Can you please just go and move the water poles for me? Thanks.
Третью на 2 влево, четвертую на 5 вправо. Третью на 2 влево, четвертую на 5 вправо. Так, какая из них третья? Ладно, буду считать слева направо.
It's awfully silent again. Measurements have been marked down around the bowls. Each chalk-drawn line representing a
А, ладно,
centimeter
мне не
on the
надо
floor.
думать.
It moves like a ghost. This task is an insult to your mental skills.
Это шо?
Some water spills at the lead programmer sends you an time to run back or maybe walk. This is a
Давай, беги.
Yes, what is it? Great. Everything should be aligned now.
Miss Know-It-All is hesitating.
Yeah, nothing. If we got the location right, we should then be able to hear whatever sound this anomaly makes. Honestly, I'm a little scared. I don't know. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know. I mean, what sound does the nothing make? What if silence is only what surrounds it, but the swallow itself is... I don't know. I'm just scared. Maybe...
Like that evil ink that filled the printout, erasing coherence and...
Maybe.
Let's think about this logically. Why would nothing be terrifying if it's, well, nothing?
Because it reminds us of death.
Death is scary. You can't just start over again. Or can you?
Yeah. You're right. Let's do it.
The lieutenant, and then nothing happens. As soon you can hear some small animal cross the floor in the chancel. She doesn't talk. Her eyes closed and...
Damn it. Yeah. Nothing happened.
Despite her fear, she was hoping for something extraordinary.
No. My hypothesis was wrong. According to this, I should have heard that this is just another fade. You can try on the headphones.
This can't be it.
Ну, мы, наверное,
You should
что-нибудь
have
и
a listen.
услышим. Ща.
Yes, what is it?
Everything disappears. You are draped in silence like a
Сейчас услышим
drowning
эту
man
Голда
staring,
Мамадакву или
and
как
then
её
the
там.
pressure changes. It feels like flying on an aerostatic, or when your ears pop. Or what if the sound you're looking for is too low for you to hear it?
A better sound system? Alright, but where would we...
Suddenly, a rhythmic beat permeates the walls.
They should really allocate some renovation funds to this place.
No. What they really should do is shut down the... You mean the speed freaks? Of course. The speed freaks. They have a... I guess I could live through a week or two of peaceful coexistence.
Brilliant negotiating there, detective.
Sure. Let me know how it goes.
Понятно. Идем к спидпанкам. Угу.
Hi again. So,
Так,
goodbye,
подожди.
officer. Huh?
Не то.
Hi again. Yes? What's the deal? We are grateful, Copman. You're an augury of a new era of a Nordic dance. That's fine. We can... And you're still sure about keeping our little side business, right? Fine. We can make do. It's going to take us a bit to move our stuff inside. A couple of hours, man.
Окей. быстро все поменялось. Че, это краб? Этот.
Yes, what is it?
What? What did you say? I can't hear you! The music is too loud! Oh, the project! There's that guy! I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speaker. He doesn't listen to me! He only ever seems to care about hardcore! Thanks! Maybe you can get through. Let me know how it goes!
Ладно.
You got a Zincop? I can't...
With wonder in his sharp eye.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still a cell using her contact mic to listen to a tree.
Точно.
The one with the large
Я
head
думал, что это
is
этот
blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass.
Okay.
It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more. That's right. The first settlers built it. Plus 6 alone on an uninhabited archipelago. I would want to build a safe place for
Устала я с
myself
ними
and my
общаться.
sure.
Знаете, давайте мы позже с ними поговорим, а на этом мы пока остановимся. Что же, пожалуй, оружие поменяемся. Всем пока.